We all like to think that the world runs on rules. We live in an order because we believe it's the right thing to do. We've convinced ourselves that if we follow the rules, we'll be safe. But in the dark corners of this system, there is a face that tells us it's all an act. The Joker. Most people see the Joker as just a villain, a madman who simply wanted to watch Gotham burn. But understanding the Joker's mentality, it's not easy actually. Hero and villain talk. They were a war between two philosophies. One side wanted to save the system because they believed in it, and the other side knew the system was already broken, and that we were all just playing along with a bad joke. The Joker once said, "It's better to be slapped with the truth than kissed with a lie."
I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
We have all wrapped ourselves in a comfortable lie. We wake up, go to work, and think everything is under control. But the Joker knew that this control is a total illusion. His belief was that as long as everything is easy, people remain good. But the moment the slap of truth hits, a person's true nature comes out. He doesn't force you to become a monster. He just removes your mask. Because to the Joker, the real madness isn't what he is doing. The real madness is the drama of being normal that we perform every single day. So, let's look at 5 quotes from the Joker to understand the true reality of this world. And remember, after hearing these 5 quotes, you won't be the same person you are right now. The Joker once said, "Never hide your bad side to make someone stay. Show your bad side and see who will stay." Think about the energy you spend every single day just to look normal in front of others. We have been programmed by society to believe that if we show our true, messy, and darker side, we will be rejected. So we build a wall. We wear a mask of kindness, a mask of productivity, and a mask of constant happiness. We do all of this just to make people stay in our lives. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, who exactly is staying? Are they staying for you, or are they staying for the character you've created? Joker understood a truth that most of us are too afraid to admit. Most human relationships are built on the foundation of convenience. People like you when you are easy to be around. They like you when you provide value, when you make them laugh, or when you solve their problems. But the moment you show your bad side, your depression, your anger, your failures, or your lack of utility, the crowd starts to thin out. In the digital age, this trap has become even more dangerous. We're told to be yourself. But the moment we are actually ourselves, we are judged and canceled. We live in a world of filtered faces and curated lives. We are so scared of being alone that we would rather be surrounded by 1,000 fake people than be seen for who we truly are by just one real person. Joker's advice is a brutal filter for your life. It is an invitation to stop pretending. When you show your bad side, you aren't being a villain, you are being honest. You are testing the weight of your connections. Because if someone cannot handle your darkness, they were never meant to share your light. It is better to stand alone in the truth than to be surrounded by lies. Most of us spend our entire lives trying to keep the wrong people in our circle. We apologize for our feelings, we suppress our instincts, and we hide our scars. But once you follow the Joker's path and drop the act, you realize something liberating. The people who leave were never yours to begin with, and the ones who stay, those are the only ones who actually matter. In a world that only loves you when you're winning, finding someone who stays when you're losing is the only real victory. The Joker said, someday someone will break you so bad that you will become unbreakable.
And you see, in their last moments, people show you who they really are.
We live in a culture that is terrified of being broken. We are told to play it safe, to avoid risks, and to protect our hearts at all costs. But the Joker knew that safety is a cage. He understood that the human spirit is like a bone. It only becomes stronger at the point where it was once fractured. The world thinks that being broken is the end of the story, but for the Joker, it was only the beginning. Look at the real world around you. Think about the person who lost their job, their savings, and their status all in one day. In that moment of total destruction, something strange happens. The fear of losing everything disappears. Why? Because there's nothing left to lose. That person becomes unbreakable, not because they are made of steel, but because they have already faced the worst the system could throw at them and survived. They are no longer a slave to the fear of failure. Consider the high CPM life we all chase. The perfect career, the perfect family, the perfect image. We spend our lives building this fragile glass house. We are constantly anxious because we know that one stone, one betrayal, one tragedy could shatter everything. But once that glass house is shattered, you are finally free. You realize that you can stand in the rain, you can breathe the cold air, and you are still here. The person who has never been broken is the most fragile person in the room because they don't yet know who they are without their order. The Joker wasn't born a chaotic force, he was forged by a society that failed him. When he says you become unbreakable, he's talking about the death of the ego. When someone breaks you so bad, they accidentally killed the version of you that was scared of the world. What is left is a version of you that is untamable, unpredictable, and dangerously free. In a world that profits from your fear, becoming unbreakable is the ultimate form of rebellion. Pain is not your enemy, it is the architect of your strength. The next time life breaks you, don't ask, why is this happening? Instead, realize that the version of you that was too weak to survive the system is being destroyed to make room for the version of you that the system can no longer control. The Joker said, "Why should I apologize for the monster I became? They didn't apologize for making me this way." Society has a very specific set of expectations for you. You are expected to be polite, to stay quiet, and to keep smiling even when the world is crushing you. We are taught that goodness is our responsibility, no matter how bad the world treats us. But the Joker's reality is much more honest. He asks a question that most of us are too scared to whisper. If the world broke the contract of kindness first, why are you still expected to follow the rules? Think about the modern-day corporate world or the struggling middle class. Think about an employee who works 12 hours a day for a salary that barely pays the rent. For years, they are loyal, they are patient, and they are good. But one day, after being disrespected or discarded by the system, that person changes. They become cold, they become cynical, or they simply stop caring. Suddenly, the same society that ignored their struggles starts pointing fingers. They call them lazy, unprofessional, or a monster. This is the hypocrisy of the system. The world will burn your house down and then complain about the smell of the smoke. They will push a kind person until they snap and then act shocked when that person isn't kind anymore. Joker understood that our personality is often just a reaction to our environment. If you put a man in a cage and poke him with a stick every day, you cannot act surprised when he eventually bites your hand. Apologizing for the monster you became is like a victim apologizing for the scars left by their attacker. In a world that demands your perfection but offers you nothing but chaos, your transformation is your survival. Sometimes becoming cold is the only way to keep your soul from freezing. Sometimes becoming a monster in the eyes of the system is the only way to stop being its victim. The Joker doesn't want you to be evil, he wants you to stop feeling guilty for the defense mechanisms you had to build just to stay alive in a world that didn't care if you died. The Joker said, "Remember, I'm not heartless, I just learned to use my heart less." We live in an age of emotional overload. Every time you pick up your phone, the system is trying to make you feel something. Anger at a headline, envy at a stranger's vacation, or guilt for not doing enough. We are told that having a big heart is a virtue, but in the modern world, a big heart is often just a big target. Joker understood that emotions are a resource, and like any resource, if you spend it on everything, you will have nothing left for yourself. Think about the way we are conditioned to care about every single tragedy on the planet. We give our empathy away to strangers, to corporations, and to digital dramas that don't even know we exist. By the time we get home to the people who actually matter, or when we look at our own dreams, our emotional battery is at zero. We aren't being kind, we are being drained. The Joker's transformation was an act of emotional conservation. He didn't lose his heart, he simply stopped letting the world pull the strings of his emotions. When he says he uses his heart less, he's talking about the ultimate form of self-defense. It is the realization that you cannot save everyone, and you shouldn't try to. In a society that profits from your anxiety and your outrage, being emotionally detached is a superpower. Look at the most successful people in the most brutal industries. They aren't evil, but they are disciplined with their feelings. They have learned that if you let your heart lead in a game of logic, you will lose every single time. The system wants you to be emotional, because emotional people are easy to manipulate, easy to sell to, and easy to control. Using your heart less means you finally start choosing who is worthy of your energy. It means you stop bleeding for a world that wouldn't even offer you a bandage. It's not about being a robot, it's about being a gatekeeper. It is the quiet, cold realization that your peace of mind is more important than the world's constant demand for your empathy. Once you stop caring about the bad jokes of society, you finally become the one holding the cards. The Joker said, "The only sensible way to live in this world is without rules." We have buried our lives under a mountain of rules and plans. We believe that if we wake up on time, work hard, and follow the path laid out by the system, we will find success. This is our greatest delusion. Look at the real world. You can be loyal to a company for years, follow every single rule, and yet one economic crash or a single board meeting decision can reset your progress to zero. Why? Because those rules were never designed to protect you. They were designed to control you. The Joker knew that rules only work as long as the world is easy. But the moment a real crisis hits, the same people who preach about morality and order start eating each other. His sensible way was to let go of the imaginary safety net provided by the system. He wanted you to realize that true freedom begins when you stop living for the expectations of people and the fake plans of society. The truth is, the world is a jungle, but we've painted a city over it. The Joker simply... Until next time, keep your eyes open.